streaming tonight, man. So I really want to know now. Looking at this thing, why am I always like extra black? You know, seriously, in the corner there, it's like
Is it making you blacker?
It's it takes a lot to make me blacker.
Like the shadow in this.
Nah. It's like Uncle Ruckus, man. Every show, I just seem to get blacker and darker and more blacker and more darker. It's like the Geek Down with these three dudes and their friendly phantasm in the corner.
You better ask Ronald Reagan to help you out, or White Jesus. You better help you out.
Well, put up some kind of a health insurance policy for my revitiligo.
Oh wow, topical.
Man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an episode of the Geek Down here on WEMF. As you heard, I am Pat B. In the house, I look to my left, my man who's deaf. All right, he can't stand your slep. That's not a word. I'm talking about Black Adam Willis.
Yes, sir. How we doing?
Doing good, baby. Doing all right.
I know I had to tune in this week and everything. I'm glad we're live too. I'm glad we got video going on because I knew everybody would be paying attention to this episode with the debates going on. No one's paying attention to that tonight, right?
Man. I'd like to think
everyone's listening to
debates?
this.
What debates?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Plessy Plessy versus Ferguson debates.
Oh, yeah. Lincoln Douglas, something like that.
No.
Buster Douglas? Yeah.
Oh,
no. It's the Pepsi versus Coke debates.
Gotcha. Crystal Pepsi wins it.
Crystal Pepsi takes it all the way.
That was before my time. I didn't have the.
We get a what?
Yeah.
What?
You weren't around last week
with the relaunch.
With the relaunch.
Oh, they did. I'm out of touch. I'm sorry.
Oh, I had Crystal Pepsi. Delicious.
Yes, it was.
Possibly.
Yes, Jesus. It was. Bring it back.
Sorry, I brought it up.
All right, no, we do have an awesome show for you. We do have some odd news, man. Like we lost a bunch of people. 2016.
But you ain't even introduced me and Johnny, bro.
Fine, I'm sorry. In the house we have
no love.
Across the table, my dude from way back, one of my best friends in life. I'm kidding, bro. Now we are very happy to have the always well-informed, the always thoroughly opinionated. And he'll share them with you whether you want to hear them or not. I'm talking about my man, Jam the Thriller Priest.
Peace. Definitely glad I'm here today. Glad to be here with y'all with this live stream. I'm gonna try my hardest not to look into the camera, even though I really can't see the camera because the mic is blocking my face. So maybe that's a good thing that I can't see into the camera.
Oh, I trust you. If you could see it, it would be like blackness.
It really is. Darkness, everybody, darkness.
All right, now, brother, thank you very much, man.
No doubt, man.
3 in a row, I think.
Fuck your show.
2.
All right, keeping it prestigious and moving right along. I look across to the man who's keeping things technically operational. I'm talking, of course, about Just Johnny.
Yep.
Hey.
You do look like a tech guy right now. I do it with that shirt. You got the headphones on. You're making sure you're like with checking all the wires and stuff.
I feel great to show how punk I am with all this very punk clothing I have on right now. This is all DIY right here. I got my tattoos, just showing.
Got like a solid leather belt, some chinos, and some what is it, Neoblonics?
I'm not gonna lie, I almost walked right past Johnny when I walked in because I was like, I didn't recognize him. I was like, where's the leather jacket, man? What's going on?
The tech guys here.
Some guy from IT came up. Dude. All right, man.
Plumbing must be out in this place.
Let's not forget the man who keeps sounding amazing. We're talking, of course, about DJ Herbie Herb.
Yo.
Hey. All right, we have a packed show for y'all. Let's get right to it. I'm gonna start. Actually, I'm gonna kick it over to Adam because, man, you got the lowdown on some of these people we actually lost.
I hate starting the show this way, and I hate talking about it's been the theme of 2016. Always talking about somebody you really, really appreciated has passed away. But yeah, Curtis Hanson has passed.
Curtis, not Chris.
Right. Which confused you for a second.
I'm sorry, it did. You said Curtis Hanson. I'm like, wait, God must have told him to take a seat.
He was like, Chris Handsome? What?
Yeah. And I'm sure everyone's heard this news, and I don't really want to, expound too much on it, because people have talked about it to death. But I just wanted to say, obviously everyone knows how great a director he was, but his movie Wonder Boys in particular was so fantastic, was so well done, you know what I mean? And based on a great book too, which is really hard to do, to kind of go like, wow, that movie was as good as that novel. But in this case, it really, really, really holds up. Michael Douglas.
You know what got me?
So, yeah.
It was, well, not to cut you off, 8 Mile.
Yeah, which is a movie that is very well done, and it's so much better than it deserves to be.
Yes, it is.
And you watch it and you're like, it's really good for what it, you think of if in lesser hands how bad that movie would have been.
Absolutely.
And then you see what it was, and
8 Mile.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't have been that it would have been as good if Hype Williams did it. But you're right. I mean,
it was just shot well. It was. You know, the pacing was good, and it was just really intense. It had a really that great closing scene, that rap battle, and then that final shot of him walking away down that alley. It's just it was a great movie.
Done very, very well. I mean, I just remember thinking I didn't see it when it came out to theaters because I was immediately thinking, okay, this is just gonna be a poor man's Purple Rain. So I didn't even want to watch it,
Right.
whatever. But you were right. Cinematically, it was just a beautiful.
Well, just
product.
think of like Get Rich or Die Trying, the 50 Cent movie that came out after. Like that's what that movie could have looked like. You know what I mean? How bad that was.
It would have been an update of Mario Van Peebles and rapping. You know, so it's like, but no, they delivered a prestigious film. It had a proper aesthetic.
But that's all Curtis Hanson. He was a very eclectic director. You know, he bounced around from very different projects. You know, he did like a movie like The River Wild, and then he did Wonder Boys, something like that. You know, he bounced around to a lot of different genres.
I mean, I was sleeping on Chris Hansen. I'm not gonna lie, Curtis Hansen. Chris Hansen,
the dude that finds you walking in with some Wendy's and
and a 19-year-old girl playing like she's 13. Yeah, I'm tracking. I saw all those episodes, but Curtis Hanson. I was sleeping. I did not know he did The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Yeah.
That was definitely one of the first horror movies I sat back and watched. Like, whoa, this is
right.
Messed up. There's like no blood going on here, but whoa, this kind of messed me up right now.
Yeah, we just built
the whole psychological thriller, man.
Yeah, and we haven't even talked about L.A. Confidential, which is like he won an Oscar for writing that movie, and it's just one of the pillars of 90s cinema. It was fantastic. It's so good. But
also one of those books I failed to read several times.
Yeah, so
you and me both.
Yeah, everybody. But
deeply intellectual show.
Super talented guy, will be missed. You know Absolutely. What I mean? He was all over the place. But yeah, like I said, Wonder Boys it's a hidden gem. It's a fucking beautiful movie.
I need to get on that.
71 years old. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
All right, that's not the only one we lost though, man. Adam, you want to take this one again?
Why do you take this one?
Okay, we're talking about H.G. Lewis.
Right.
One of
the gore king. You know what I mean?
They called this man the Godfather, and I remember studying his work in film school. And
which is kind of an interesting guy to study too.
Oh yeah, no, this
which is fun though. It's probably very fun to.
It was mostly in a class called Cheap Thrills, which was all about bad movies and softcore porn. This is how I got my degree, y'all. But one of the main things,
Phoenix College, yeah.
Babe, please, Emerson proper film school that I'm going to be paying money till the day I die.
See, I haven't seen
spin.
I haven't seen many of his movies. I think I saw what was the movie The Wizard of Gore is one of the ones I caught.
No, they range from garbage to hot garbage.
Yeah.
And I will say Blood Feast is the one that's heralded as the first big ultra gore pinnacle of. You know what this movie is the poster for when they talk about, well, they just throw ketchup everywhere. This movie had you could see the bottles.
Yeah. They almost put Heinz out of business. Yeah.
Okay, I remember studying Blood Feast. Like, yo, we're gonna see the original. I'm into slasher films. I'm into horrors. I want to see where it came from. You know where it came from? There's a scene where a woman's whipping some guy in a torture den. It's a mop, plainly dipped in this red sauce they have, and just slap it. And there's no attempt to hide or make it seem like an actual cat of nine tails. They didn't even paint the sucker. It's a mop in her hand on a stick.
They didn't
whipping.
Yeah.
So you're telling me it says a Dollar Tree mop that they just picked up?
Yeah. They spared every expense on production, but
they spared every expense.
But they didn't never run out of red goo to splatter over the place. These movies were not good, but they were fun. They were fun, right? I mean.
Yeah, no, that's the main thing.
Splatter, gore.
These were like the proto-trauma movies. Okay, back before it was fashionable to make bad movies that are so bad they're good.
Right.
These were bad movies that couldn't help but be fun and amusing, and you just went and had a good time knowing that they were bad. They weren't in on the gag, but that's before there was a gag to be in on. That's the work of H.G. Lewis, and he passed away this week. Passed away today, actually.
Passed away today. I just read this an hour ago. Yeah. I was kind of reading this Curtis Hanson thing, and then I saw that, and I texted you. I was like, "What's this, man? We gotta stop. We gotta stop reading the news, But every time,
immediately think of me when you read these happy tales.
This guy died. You hear it? Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Yeah. So next on the docket is
another death.
Yeah, actor Bill Nunn passed away at the age of 62. Excuse me. After a bout with cancer.
Yeah.
Radio Raheem.
Yeah, best known for
Love
playing
and
Radio
hate.
Raheem and Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing.
Yeah. An iconic character. But you know what I actually know him from first? Because I saw this movie first because I was a little bit. It was
Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead?
No,
New Jack
but another
City?
one.
Oh.
No, Sister Act. Sorry, bro. Sorry. Yeah, man.
Oh,
He was the cop. You know what I
was
mean?
the
He was the
cop.
cop.
He played
Yes,
cops
he
a lot,
was.
man.
And he
Like cops a
grabs
lot.
the guy and he grabs the snitch inside the thing. He'll plug him. You know what I mean? Oh, I love that line. Plug him up.
Sister,
So
Sister
good.
Act,
Sister
just
Act.
Johnny's favorite movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Was he in this? No, I don't know. Sister Act 2. I don't want to bring that up. But
Bring it back to Bring it to habit. Was
No,
it?
no.
back it have it.
He did a bunch of stuff, man. I remember him in School Days was actually his first. his
Yes,
first,
it was when he was doing the butt.
doing the
Doing
Oh wow, we are old.
And
Yeah.
he spit game to that brick house. Woo, she was
Hey
fine.
man, wouldn't you? Come on.
Oh,
man.
absolutely. I was a little short, but still.
I would even bring Johnny around.
Yep.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think he's gonna be known for Radio Raheem forever.
Yes, he
You know
is.
what I
Radio
mean?
Raheem
I-
definitely made it.
Well, also, keep in mind he was also in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was Robbie Robertson, which
not the
actually,
guy from the band.
not the guy from the band. No, it should have been a bigger role. But Sam Raimi was kind of all over the place there. But no, he still brought it to the. He was one of the most identifiable supporting characters. That's how.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, if you are black, maybe specifically African American, but black as a whole, and you grew up in the '90s, you have seen something with Bill Nunn in it,
Yeah.
without a doubt. Let it be Radio Raheem or one of my favorites, a Dutta Man, who was the muscle for Nino Brown in New Jack City.
Nobody in Harlem own any poppy fields. All right? Come on. It's so good. I had to do that. But you're right. I mean,
Yes.
obviously, I'm not African American, but like he was.
Wait, man,
You would see him, and you're like, he's one of those guys. You know, it's the stereotypical thing with
yes.
with the character actors. You'd be like, what's that guy's name? I like
was
that
one of
guy.
them.
I like him, and he's in stuff I know. I'm
It's
not
that
ready to
guy
put my
with the
finger on it.
mustache, or that guy with
Yep.
the flat top, or that
Yep.
guy with the rings, or that guy doing the dance, that guy, the cop who did the thing.
But it's always that guy is awesome in everything
Yeah,
he does.
and he's
too, right? You know what I mean?
consistent.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I read this little story. I don't want to harp on this. I know we're trying to move on, but I read the story on Facebook. Might have been one of my fraternity brothers, just some dude that I know, was telling the story how he ran to Bill Nunn fishing. Like he was fishing, he looked over, he saw Bill Nunn fishing, so he walked up on him, introduced himself. Bill Nunn immediately said, "I don't want to talk about the movies," and Bill Nunn immediately just launched into talk about his kids and his family, just
Really?
like just telling like his life story to this dude who was like, "Hey man, I just was just glad to be in his presence
Yeah.
to just drop this knowledge to me about like just his life." You know, as opposed to talk about the movies, and was just like,
Yeah,
it's one of
Whoopi
those sort of things
Goldberg's
that's awesome.
cool. Yeah,
That's cool,
yeah.
but I couldn't have that because I'd have been like, "Hey, yo, Raheem!" And he's like, "That's the wrong movie, fool." I'm like, "All right, man, it's very nice to meet you. Love you, man. Hate." And then just like push me off the boat.
Give me my pole back.
All right, so we're talking about actor Bill Nunn. He passed away at age 62. Known for, we mentioned Sister Act, we mentioned Spider-Man. Also, he was in Idlewild, which nobody saw.
I saw
It's
it.
a good soundtrack,
saw
though.
I saw it. It was
Yeah,
great
it
sound,
was-
amazing soundtrack. I saw it. It was a pretty good movie. I mean, depends what we look. I mean, it's a movie with Outcast. I mean, come on.
Yeah, watch.
no, no,
Listen to the
no,
soundtrack. You know, this is another cast album.
No, you
Pretty
saw that,
much.
That was part of your black immersion point. That's what happened there. Well, it was necessary. You had to fill a quota.
So my card will get taken away. Make sure my black card stays intact.
3 key movies a month.
Can I chime in real quick here?
Yeah, what do you got?
Please go ahead.
All right. So if anyone wants to watch us talk live, they can do it right now on twitch.tv/The Geek Down, all one word.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
And they can
indeed.
watch us right now.
Oh, you got to put that information here. Thank you for. It's like World Star.
If you can pull yourself, from Donald Trump saying ridiculously
Oh, sweet Jesus. that is
racist,
happening,
awful
isn't it?
things, yeah.
Like, how did we get to that point as a country? I blame her.
It's another show, but
Another show.
All right, so let's
I
jump
ain't got enough
right
time to get into that.
in. Man, no, we do have a little bit more news to cover. Yo, dig this, because Jay, I'm especially glad you're here when this story's dropping, because Boom Studios acquired,
Yes.
the WWE license and will begin publishing wrestling comics this fall. Okay, now why is this news? And I suppose if we have it written down, why is this news? Because I kind of want to know myself. Because Boom has announced their new approach to wrestling comics.
Yes.
Now, historically, wrestling comics, I grew up reading wrestling comics.
I
so know
stopped
they
after a
are-
while for this exact reason. Go ahead.
brother,
The
they
exact
are
reason.
hyper shitey.
That's why I was like, I can't watch. I can't read them.
Corniest
Garbage.
word. Yes, exactly. Hot. hot steaming pile.
I haven't had the pleasure. Sorry.
Think Hulk Hogan superhero show is what it is.
Think of so is it like Suburban Commando, the magazine?
You're not that far off.
You really aren't.
Rockin' Wrestling set in Vietnam, 1974.
Yes.
All right. But historically, we mentioned wrestling comics have taken the personalities of wrestlers and superstars and mashed them into genres that they really have no business being in. No collection of wrestling, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have friggin' The Undertaker. In some suburban neighborhood, he's fending off oil barons, but he was just riding through on his motorcycle, and then somebody needed his help.
It's like some little cat stuck in a tree, and Hulk Hogan's there, and he happens to climb the tree and save the kitty for the kids. Stupid little things like that, and that just completely turned me off when I was a fan as a kid.
Man,
I don't even want to read it.
Dean Malenko will drop kick that kitty out of the tree for you, kid. Like, word, for real.
$6 million man's doing your tax returns.
Actually,
IRS doing your tax returns.
Oh man, no, Boom. Their new approach is they're gonna tell the backstories and things that happen between the shows. That because of budgets and locations and all types of stuff that they normally can't do on screen. These will be off-camera elements that may tie into the live show continuity. So you get the books. And these are the storylines that they wanted to write into the show, into the regular character playouts, and couldn't for some reason or another. You can actually have those in book form. So there are also plans.
Sounds like it's like strictly for the diehards, though.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, if the stories are good enough, you know, you can jump into something that's that.
You think someone would pick this up, not being a wrestling fan, and then turned on to wrestling? You think that?
Perfect example? Yeah, perfect example is the Marvel movies. You can see any of those without really knowing the background of a lot of the characters, and still see a good movie. You may not get every reference, you may not understand who every character is, but the stories are still good enough that you won't have a bad time. You know, so I'm hoping if they do these, because they emphasized, especially in the press conferences and at the Comic-Con announcement, how that they are fans writing these, you know?
Right.
So it's fans creating the material, so they care about it that much more.
I mean, the only fear that I have is exactly what Adam mentioned, is that because there are fans doing it, that this could be a situation where they may be using jargon that those who are diehard fans
too in the know.
They could be too in the know, like you said, without keeping in mind your casual audience who you're really trying to pull in. Which is something I'll address a little later when it comes to pro wrestling in the United States.
It's certainly a difficult situation, you know what I mean? And more power to him for trying to do it, but it's like you run the risk of.
I talk about the finger poke of doom, or Macho Man and the Creamers. You know, we might leave people in the dark.
Superpowers, I don't know. Yeah,
the finger poke of doom. Oh my god! I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I know. I understand exactly what you're saying, and I'm trying to keep a positive viewpoint here, but you know, you're right. It does kind of tread that line.
So, is there a certain character that you would be certainly interested in to get some backstory on that they might not fit into an?
All right, Peep Game. Let me kind of address sort of that.
Okay.
Is this going to be similar to what they did with the Andre the Giant piece?
No.
Because I mean, with that, a lot of it was stories based on Andre the Giant. So it wasn't hokey. It was ultimately Andre the Giant stories and graphic novel
drinking stories. I hope
a lot of it was Andre the Giant drinking stories.
Tell us sleep in a hotel. We couldn't move, and we left from there.
It was a lot of that, but it was a great piece because it definitely showed the realism of it, but at the same time, it wasn't hokey. It was like in his element. Yeah, so is it gonna be something like that or no?
That's more biographical. This is specifically storyline to basically flesh out the characters' backstories that they can't do in the hour-long program, a 2-hour-long program,
or 3-hour-long program,
or 3-hour-long program. Yeah,
can't do it.
The 3-hour-long program that's on right now.
Yeah, think about it this way. This is the addendum to a story you already know.
Okay.
Really well. This is the add-ons that you didn't get in the original in the main version.
Sounds like something I would have tore apart when I was like 13 years old, man. You know what I mean? But not like that.
Okay, now I'm really happy about this because finally they're taking it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I remember specifically the first book that came to mind when I read this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a book that I'm pretty sure I still have today, somewhere in my folks' attic.
Mm-hmm.
It was Sting, the comic book. What's it about? Mm-hmm. Well, Sting is on vacation from the WCW. What's he doing? He's taking a cruise. What happens on this cruise? Well, some mad bombers try to blow up the cruise ship.
Is this blonde Sting or dark-haired Sting?
This is blonde. Sting. Face paint and everything while he's on vacation.
Does he have like a polo on his shorts?
You look good.
And this dude has the most Miami Vice a white suit, no sock boxings, get up you've ever seen.
Blue white beater underneath.
And dig this. And the miscreants are gonna blow up the cruise ship. Nobody can stop them but Sting. But who do they have working for him? It's Cactus Jack.
Oh no, it's not.
It is Cactus Jack.
You gotta
for
be
no
kidding
reason
me.
whatsoever.
Bang, bang.
Man, and the whole thing was Cactus Jack, and he had two other minions next to him. I don't remember who they were. It's been a long time. I want to say like the Smoking Guns, but they weren't WCW.
Nah,
but these two
probably
dudes
Vader and somebody.
It was two dudes with like a cowboy theme.
Was it?
I feel like they were tag team. Nah, but I'm not.
Buckhouse Buck. And because he had like a cowboy gimmick for a while too. It was somebody else, but go ahead.
It could have been. These were these WCW cats. Yeah. And I swear to God, this dude saved the day by drop kicking the bomb off the ship. Drop kicking the bomb off of the ship. And then the last panel, he went back to the dance floor and finished dance. Still in gear, still in the suit, makeup and all, and danced the night away with some chick named Missy. And this was
like Hyatt?
Quality. Huh?
Like Missy Hyatt?
I didn't get a last name, bro.
I'm
like
assuming
I said, it's been a
Missy
while.
Hyatt. You're not just gonna pick Missy out the sky with Sting, so I'm assuming it's Missy Hyatt.
Man,
that's horrible. But go ahead.
This is first.
You have a great memory of this, though.
I read that. Well, because
you really do.
I was a
you were
wrestling
traumatized,
fan.
weren't you?
Yeah,
You were
I was a
traumatized.
wrestling fan. I love that book back then, man. The corniest thing as hell now.
Yeah,
but back then I was just happy to have like Sting and like, oh my God, it's Sting! Yo, Sting! Oh God, my Sting!
You know, I'm not gonna front because I probably actually could I borrow that. If back then, I'm not gonna front.
Children and their parents will buy the dumbest, worst crap ever.
Don't
Like,
hate
how
that.
does it? No, I don't. I'm just saying it makes sense to me. I'm like, how does that sound? That's the worst thing. You're like, oh yeah.
We gotta go around this table at one point and find like the stupidest thing you still have.
Oh man, I got so many though.
I know I do.
So many.
Yeah, I want to hear Johnny because you awfully quiet over there.
Yeah, I'm just making sure things don't break technically.
Sure, no, sorry, I'm doing real work here. I can't.
While you can smoke a joke.
I'm
trying to keep this show running.
All right, well, Boom Studios is premiering the new line this fall. So I mean, check for it.
I'm checking for it.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, I'm not gonna front. I'm definitely gonna check for it.
I have to, right? It's a morbid curiosity thing at the very most superficial level. I just kind of need to know.
Me too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I see a Bootio's backstory anyway.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna jump right into this first review because I peeped Aliens: Life and Death. It's a comic that's out right now from Dark Horse. Just launched, and I mean, I'm a big fan of the Alien franchise. Love most of the movies.
You're not a Prometheus guy, right?
Man, don't say that.
Yeah,
Don't say that.
Prometheus is good.
Someone's gonna believe you. Don't.
It
do
wasn't
that.
bad.
No, we're not.
I liked it.
Stop it.
I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was all right.
I didn't mean to do
I thought
this,
it was
Pat.
actually really good.
Man,
I don't say really good, but it wasn't bad.
I'm gonna say
don't
really
poke
good.
him any more than he.
Sorry.
Everything in that damned movie was like eye worms and toothy vaginas, man. It's like the future's disgusting.
Alien
All right, first of all,
abortion.
There's a movie for that. I
Yeah.
think it's called Teeth.
Teeth.
Yeah.
Teeth. I actually saw that in theater. Small story on the
Gave it a
side.
run for its money. Woman got in the thing, gave birth to this like
Alright, Pete.
squid.
Sorry.
Gave birth to a squid lava lamp, yo. The whole movie's messed up. All right. Well, anyways, only loosely related. Aliens: Life and Death. Just released from Dark Horse Comics. Now I'll give you the actual plot synopsis here. Those who die are the lucky ones. In the aftermath of the battle with the engineers, that's those clowns from Prometheus that y'all were mentioning so fondly, the freaks, those white dudes with the... Anyways, the surviving humans on LV-223 are wounded and scattered, an easy prey for the gathering horde of aliens. The colonial marines get a taste of what it's like to be at the bottom of the food chain. And that's pretty much it. And that seems like a really simplistic explanation, but you're talking about aliens. And anyone going to this isn't going for the really deep, introspective story of, well, I want to find out Hicks's background. Why did he join the Marines in the first place? You know, what did Apone do to rise to the chain of command? Nah, none of that. It's like we want to see aliens and we want to see some cats get murked. And that is exactly what goes down here. The book starts off with these cats lost and surrounded by aliens, and then cats just start dying raw and horribly. And I'm just like, okay, damn, they pulled no punches. I figure they want to get the gore like out of the way right away. Because the writing itself is kind of mediocre. I'm not gonna lie, mind you, it's still like fledgling. They're just starting out, but I'm not getting too deep a story here. This seems like a vehicle, pretty much, to have a lot of random colonial marines in jungle atmospheres or in desolated city settings, and then just get them taken the F out quick, raw, dirty. It's like nasty.
So just basically setting you up to get slaughtered.
Pretty much.
Like, so how's the artwork then? I mean, did they show enough of that?
It was very basic, man. Like this was like it's not quite indie comic loose, but this was kind of less than I'd expect from Dark Horse. And Dark Horse is known for having the more varied style, but this seemed like something I could do. I'm not a terrible artist, but I'm no professional. And I'm not hating. I mean, this is again a vehicle for death and killing and rampant. Basically, if I stop reading Chaos comics, this would be what I'd go to satisfy my bloodlust. I want to see if it takes off a little more.
So you're interested in the next one? So you're not going to recommend it?
I'm not going to. Honestly, if you're a hardcore fan, I'd especially recommend you don't read it, or at least not right away. Wait for a collection and then see how it actually pans out, because right now it's just too early to tell. But if this is a prime example of what they are going to present the whole run, then it's a pass. Mostly because they don't do anything, or at least they don't allude to doing anything that you would want them to do. It's basically like like late 80s, early 90s action book. We're lost in the jungle, we're fighting something, and it's got more numbers than we do. The end. So as a reader, I was disappointed. As an Aliens fan, I was more disappointed. It wasn't tragic, but it was just more mediocre than it should have been.
Nah, I got you.
Aliens, Life and Death, pass. All right.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. But I'm not the only opinion in the house. My man, Johnny got out to check out what?
Little game called Downwell.
A tiny game, smidgen.
It's literally a very small game. It's $2.50 right now that you can buy it on a bunch of different platforms I'll get into a little bit later. But the game is just very straightforward, very, very pint-sized, very small concept, but it fully explores all of the things that it could explore within this very narrow scope. And that is simply you're playing as this dude that falls down this endless well that is randomly generated. So inside this well, you're constantly falling down with a few platforms that you can sort of land on. But your goal is to just make it down to the very bottom of the well. And along the way, there's these enemies that have different characteristics to them on how you need to tackle them. And the big thing about it is that you have guns on your boots. So your boots are guns.
Okay, are they for like propulsion?
They are. So as you're falling down, you can fire your gun boots in order to sort of slow down your descent, as well as kill the enemies that you're going down on.
Kind of like a Vector Man. Kind of, you know what I mean? You ever played that where you're like, you can boost up, and then when you're falling, you can hit it. Yeah. You can't destroy an enemy that way, but
or at the very least, like Battletoads, where you can push off from one wall and use yourself as a weapon.
Similar to that, except the descent is minimal. The sort of the interruption to your descent is kind of minimal. So it's a very fast-paced, combo-oriented type of game. And then as you're making it down this well, there's these little tiny rooms on either side of it that you can explore for various power-ups or for vendors. So as you're killing enemies, you're collecting these red gems, and then you're taking these red gems and finding a shop to spend them on. And then as you fall down to the bottom of a certain level or a little stage of a well, you're constantly going down, but there's like these little intermissions in between. And as you're doing that, you're gaining a permanent power-up that you're able to select, and it sort of feeds this I almost want to say it's like the Binding of Isaac, except simpler, and you're just falling down and doing this very arcadey style gameplay where you're just jumping on enemies' heads or shooting them or bouncing between them. And there's a lot of intricate mechanics in there that makes it extremely fun.
Well, what's the atmosphere then? Is it more of like a silly platform, or is it like a serious game where at the bottom of the well is the future of man or something like that?
It is a very streamlined, very simple game. There's no essential story. It's very bare bones. It's just fall down a well, see how far down you can get, and along the way kill as many enemies, build up a high enough combo, and just try to survive. And it has permadeath, so you make it down as far as you can get. If you die, you have to start from the very top again.
Ooh. Wait. Okay. Now, do you get lives, hit points? Is it like R-Type? You make it all the way down, and then just before you hit bottom, you get like some random stray bullet catches you in the kneecap.
Yep.
And then you're dead. You start all the way back.
All the way back from the very start. Although you do get health, and you can increase your health as you go by getting various power-ups or spending your currency in certain ways. But yeah, it's very brutal with the difficulty, but it's also very streamlined, or very compact, and every time you go down the well, it's random. So you're never encountering the same scenario over and over again. The enemies might be the same, but the level design itself, the enemy placement, the power-ups you're going to get, the permanent power-ups that you're going to get, like all of those things are going to be random. So it's interesting every single time you go through.
Okay, all right. So it sounds like you got a pretty high opinion of this other.
I do. It is really. It's probably the best $2.50 you could ever spend on a video game.
Nice.
Well, keep in mind, we did just talk about Crystal Pepsi. So.
On a game, he said. No,
on a game.
Crystal Pepsi.
Sorry, he didn't take into account to Crystal.
Wait, am I the only one that's hoping that while you play this game, we're sending our love down the well from The Simpsons? On loop?
Or you see that like child from that crappy like after school movie, you know what I mean? Or she fell down the well.
It's like you just passed Baby Glenn.
That's it.
Baby
Yeah.
Glenn.
All right, so what's this for, Johnny? It's a mobile game.
It is a mobile game. It's called Downwell. It's available on PS4, Android, iOS, the Vita, and Windows, which is where I played it.
Wow, wait, no N-Gage?
People still got
no
the
N-Gage.
Vita?
Sorry.
N-Gage. People still got the Vita.
Although
he did not say PSP. He said Vita.
Some people might want to know this. The graphics are 8-bit style, so if you don't like that sort of thing, the old school sprites, then
What? No, please, I got a
try
PS4
it anyway.
for those sharp 8-bit graphics.
It's really putting the hardware to the test right there.
All right, so the game is called Downwell from
Mopin.
All right, that is gonna be easy to.
Mopin. Moppin.
8-bit, eh?
All right, cool. So
Block falls down hole.
Johnny recommends it. I recommend the soundtrack from The Simpsons season 7 episode. No, okay. All right.
Are you talking about that one CD that they came out with early on?
One CD.
I actually have it. Yeah.
They came out with multiple.
They have 4 CDs. I have 3 of them.
Oh.
The only one I don't have is the one where they're all dressed up like the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper joint.
Okay.
I couldn't justify the money. I bought Simpsons. I bought Songs in the Key of Springfield. I bought The Simpsons Sing the Blues, son.
I think that's the one. I think that's the one I got.
It's. I mean, I can't even justify that now. I tried.
Got,
to.
My Simpsons fan card just got pulled, and y'all can keep that.
All I can say is I know the words of Dr. Zayas thanks to Songs in the Key of Springfield, so that's cool.
This could be a collector's item by now, eh?
Songs in the Key of Springfield. It's on CD. If it was on vinyl, maybe.
Songs in the Key is printed. Oh, it's good.
I doubt that it came out on vinyl.
It's all garbage. This had nothing to do with Downwell, but in the worst segue ever.
Shouts out to Sting.
Oh, hey man, one of his fans needed him. That's why he had to drop kick that bomb off the boat. Oh, sorry, is that the wrong Sting? All right, Herb's over there just shaking his head in disappointment.
Like, where is this show going? I don't know.
Cactus Jack was also doing it.
Cactus Jack commissioned by terrorists to blow up a random ass cruise ship in the middle of the ocean.
Bang, bang.
Who's gonna save us? Oh no, Kahuna! Kona Crush is on. He's unavailable at this time.
Oh, Cactus Jack just hit him with barbed wire.
Can't someone put out a wire to Big Papa Pump?
Big Papa Pump. Holla if you hear me.
Oh, Flash Funk is on the job. No, he's not. It's the wrong franchise.
Buff Bag. Okay, we gotta stop.
Bagwell.
Didn't they both get fired at the same time?
That whole company got locked out. Oh, they apparently had beef though.
Yeah.
Flash Funk and Buff Bagwell.
What?
Man, it's gangster. Go on YouTube and check it out, man. Scorpio goes in about how him and Bagwell did not get along, just how Bagwell was so full of himself when they were a tag team. That
Really?
Bagwell
I
was just
couldn't
like this
see
young
it. Not
buck.
Bagwell. Not him.
It's like before the whole NWO thing when he was just like, young Marcus Alexander Bagwell. We didn't buy his whole name, and like Scorpio was like taking him under the wing, but they knew they was gonna split him up and have Bagwell go for his own run, and he just got a little too conceited to the point where I'm better than you sort of thing, like I'm big time now because they're gonna give me a singles push, and Scorpio was not trying to hear it.
My chest.
Google it.
YouTube it. He was like the Shawn Michaels of that group.
He was trying to be the Shawn Michaels of that group, but in actuality, he was the Mario Giannetti of that group. And you know what happened?
The references that everyone gets.
And you saw what happened when Marty Giannetti. Those of you who are listening do not know. I'm about to look at the camera for this one. YouTube barbershop window. YouTube barbershop window. All right, Shawn Michaels barbershop window.
Brutus
End
the
of story.
Beefcake was never the same after this one event.
But I'm sorry. Please continue.
No, it's okay. I was talking about the grudge match between the Demolition and the Legion of Doom. So it's I'm sorry. Enough with the old school wrestling references. Now let's talk about. Let's talk about what Coco Beware is doing. Okay. I got to check out the latest Denzel property. Denzel Washington starring in
a Denzel joint.
7. Yeah. It was a Denzel
joint. It pretty much was.
Yeah. It really was actually, man. We're talking about the Magnificent 7 starring Denzel Washington. I can't say an all-star cast.
It was a bad cast.
No. I'm not saying it was bad, but it had stars in it.
Yeah.
But the 7 itself. 3 of those dudes, maybe 4.
Exactly. Like Chris Pratt's a big dude now.
I mean, that's one of the 3 you remember.
And then like Ethan Hawke's always that guy that's like, I know his name.
Yeah. That's all you remember. Those 3.
Right.
You will spot the name Vincent D'Onofrio in the credits. You will not spot him in the movie until someone specifically points it out to you.
Did he lose weight?
No,
he just don't look
he's
like
just heavily made up, and in fact, he may have gained weight for this role.
He might have. He looked a little big.
Yeah.
He ate Ethan Hawke.
I'm gonna call him the I was gonna say Chris Nolan. What's his name? Batman.
The guy who played
Bale?
Batman?
Yeah. He's the fat Christian Bale.
Ah.
Because he's a chameleon, man. Every role he looks different. You got to identify him like, yo, that's him. Like, word? It's like, yeah, you got to shave the beard, knock off about 40 pounds, and then like dress him this way, take off the Santa Claus gear. Oh yeah, that is him. He was the Kingpin. I know, right? He was also that dude from Jurassic World. What? Well, Vincent D'Onofrio was in this movie. We mentioned Ethan Hawke is in this movie. We mentioned who was there's a lot of good people.
You said Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed this movie. It's very simple. It's a remake of the 1960 Magnificent 7, the original, starring Yul Brynner, Steve McQueen, Charles Bronson.
But even before then, it was the
Seven Samurai from Akira Kurosawa. Yeah, very long history of remakes of this, and most of them have not been successful. The Magnificent 7, the original movie with Yul Brynner, I think, was the most successful up until now. This movie with Denzel has taken legit numbers over the weekend, and I think with good reason.
Especially with nothing really else out there. You know what I mean?
I mean, Sully dropped.
Don't rain on their parade.
I'm not raining on it. It's just a fact.
Let them have it.
I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, Denzel made the movie. I think a lot of it's like no one's going to give Denzel Washington's movie a friggin' 3.
Yeah,
Denzel, 3 out of 10. You know what I mean? Denzel Washington walks in with at least a 7.
You know what I think? This is
even the Equalizer, which is rubbish.
Exactly, but yet that's probably pulling in at 7.
This is just another installment of Antoine Fuqua apologizing to Denzel for making him play the bad guy in Training Day.
See, my thing is with Antoine Fuqua too. I'm glad you brought him up too, because I think this guy had a monster hit early, and then has been treading water ever since.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
Honestly, I agree.
I don't think he's not a good director. I just think he makes bad movies. You know what I mean? It's kind of thing. Not that so they're bad. Not like they're technically bad. They're just not that good.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
They're middle of the road.
He got a hit, and it was great, and it was mostly Denzel, probably. You know what I mean? But he hit something, and then it was he just never recaptured that. You know what I mean? It was he got lightning in the bottle that one time, just early.
Just like Shyamalan.
I think it's a point.
With this one,
I don't. Not entirely, almost.
I think Magnificent 7 is the movie to break that curse. We're talking about director Antoine Fuqua, who did direct this, and directed it starring Denzel. He's done a lot of projects with Denzel Washington. Most of Antoine Fuqua's movies to date have not been that great. You're right.
I mean, they're not bad. They're just. I mean, I'm skimming through his stuff right now, and I mean, they're not bad movies.
What's his last 3 movies? Do you know?
Yes. Equalizer in 2014.
Which was amazing.
Exit Strategy 2015.
Wait.
Southpaw 2015.
Equalizer was Denzel as the Terminator.
Right.
Okay. This dude.
And it was bad.
Anytime there was an explosion, it's Denzel walking away in slow motion.
Slow motion, yeah.
Right.
He gets shot in that movie and he just like puts like wax on it or something. He's like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then like walks away.
Southpaw. Her Southpaw was pretty good.
Nah,
Southpaw was with Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah. Jake Gyllenhaal doing his Rocky Marciano impression.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean the movie was forgotten in like 2 weeks. Let's be honest. Anyway.
I don't know about Exit Strategy.
Did he do Antoine Fisher?
No, that was
didn't.
Denzel directed that, didn't he?
Denzel. Okay, yeah, that's where I got crossed.
Didn't he?
But
I don't know.
well,
Probably.
No, Denzel played Chisholm in this movie. If anyone's seen the original Magnificent Seven, this is the role played by Yul Brynner. It's the what do you call it? He's the bounty hunter. He's the lawman. And he's the bounty hunter's good enough, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's the one that's actually asked by the townspeople who are being terrorized by this baron, by this mogul, with violence and death and things. They find this guy who comes to town looking for a bounty and see, this dude's some serious stuff. We're farmers, not fighters. We need some help. Let's see if this guy can handle business for us. So they hire one man to take out an army of like 700 henchmen.
Yep.
Yeah. What's up, Herb? You saw this?
Oh no, I was like thinking about the original. I mean, like that one, and like
the original. The original was some stuff because I noticed this movie followed the same storyline plot in which it's really random. A cowboy comes to town. Excuse me, sir, can you help us? It's like, cool. What do you need? We need you to put your life on the line to save a town of people you don't know. I got this. How many? 4 or 5 henchmen? I'm good. An army plus. I may need to hire a couple more guys for this.
I need an Indian.
Yeah.
I need at least one more guy.
And that's one thing I noticed, Jay. They covered every point. This was
yes, they did. They hit every
the most 2016 type thing we got going. Like there's got to be an Indian around here somewhere. There's still one left.
It was legit Indians. It wasn't like, white guy in red face. You know what I mean? It was like legit Indian.
Actual Native Americans.
It still doesn't make it any more believable, let's be honest.
No, but consider it this way. This is a work of fiction about
because it's not a Puerto Rican guy in makeup, it doesn't mean it's
pretty much.
They had their Latin quota filled. It's a story about folktale heroes.
Yeah.
In which case these guys are going to be freaking superheroes. Okay, this was a video game. They had one type of each class. You got your sharpshooter. You got your loudmouth gambler who's also like good with the 6 guns at close range. You've got Denzel who's just your all around hero. You've got your Native American who's your melee action star. You've got Vincent D'Onofrio as your tank class.
Oh yeah, he's just a tanker.
This dude was
bowling over dudes.
Just like literally everyone else had to. He's the only one who really had to work for his kills. Everyone else was like picking people off.
It's like doing it by hand.
After what he went through when he was in Full Metal Jacket, look what happened, dude. I mean, he came out like a warrior, boy.
All I'll say is
I was 600 infantry. You made it.
He made it.
When you're first introduced to D'Onofrio, it's these 2 cats who's talking mess about him. He just like comes out of nowhere from like behind the wall that you're barely aware is there, and just like
the Kool-Aid guy.
He did.
Yeah, it just comes out of nowhere with a rock. And I swear to God, before then he was just there to do that voice. He does this voice that makes you think this man might not be all that right in the head. If you've ever seen Gunsmoke, imagine if Festus had brain damage. No one's seen Gunsmoke, so that's
no. I've seen Gunsmoke.
Well, anyways, that's the thing. I'm into westerns, and this movie grew on me. I wasn't really feeling it at first when we walked out of the screening, but having taken time to think about it over the past,
which is interesting to hear you say, because you're usually not a guy that changes your mind.
You're not.
I'm not trying to say you're stubborn in any way, but but usually you see something, you have an opinion, and
you stick to it.
Yeah,
you're like this movie sucks. Period. Point blank. So I was incredibly surprised that they had pulled a turn over here on me.
Well, the thing is, having let this one set in, I started thinking about, first of all, the obvious references to other westerns that are in this movie, and I mean blatant, flagrant homages, which is cool.
Well, I
like westerns. I like somebody who appreciates those and is working those in, and isn't trying to go too far in either direction, because it's set in the Old West. It's got to be extra gritty, extra raw, extra dirty. Everyone's got to be getting scalped every other scene, or too far in the opposite direction, where sorry with the fringe punch on top. Everyone's wearing pink shirts and flashy gun belts.
Well, the nature of the Western is kind of like an homage to these legends and everything too.
Yeah.
So everything's kind of like a copy of something that came
so
before.
weird.
That's all
right?
early America had. Think about the concept of these settlers who came to this continent from somewhere else. But don't give me that smirk, man. I'm making a point. Well, basically, they came and they had nothing. All you had is they didn't have like TV back then. They didn't have iPods and stuff. You had to make up stories. So you tell the story of, well, your grandfather, he had a farm and then he tilled it and then he died. Like, no,
I'm thinking just like
grandfather
more
was
like
a great
just
man. He snatched the land from the jaws of evil men who tried to
Them engines, right?
well, just in structure, you know what I mean? It's just it's usually the quiet, sullen hero like enters a town and he helps somebody out that he needs. I mean, like one of my favorite is Pale Rider, Pale Rider by Clint Eastwood. It's such a good movie, but it takes something like a theme of this quiet hero like entering a town, helping this family, shooting the bad guys, and walking off into the sunset. That's
that was
it, right?
Lot. Yeah, it's the tropes that Hollywood made popular that we've come to accept over
But if
time.
you do them well, it doesn't really matter if you beat them to death.
Exactly.
I agree.
They're
Good movie's a good movie.
And this movie, to me, it didn't start off good enough, but I realized it's the best example of the classic Western that we have today. We mentioned a few before the show when we were talking about this, and 3:10 to Yuma. Great movie, I think. You would actually mention Posse. Not so
Posse.
Not so
The
good movie.
Mario Van Peebles.
Big Daddy Kane was in that movie, by the way.
Big Daddy Kane was in the movie.
Yes,
now.
Lest we forget. And Stephen
Johnny,
Baldwin. You're going to see a movie with Big Daddy Kane and Stephen Baldwin in the same movie.
Hey.
Yeah,
Doesn't Stephen Baldwin die in that movie?
everyone died in that movie.
Everybody
Except Mario
he dies
Van Peebles.
early.
Mario Van Peebles made it.
Yeah, Peebles made it, yeah.
All right, but no, we're getting kind of off the point. What I was getting at is Antoine Fuqua is a fan of Westerns. He made this movie because he was a fan of Westerns. And a lot of this is an homage that I can see why, because I'm aware of his fandom. And you know what? In the aftermath of everything we got, which pretty much was a lead up to a boss fight with a cartoonish villain. I mean, this dude did everything short of like twirling his mustache while tying Polly Purebred to the train track.
To the train track. Yeah.
Seriously, like this dude. He seemed to be like Paul Giamatti with a
little bit.
Yeah, with Daniel Day-Lewis hair.
I mean, listen, I was there. I seen him with you. I'm not gonna front. I'm not a huge fan of Westerns.
Hater.
So watching it, I thought it was great for what it was. I mean, exactly. I mean, like you said, all the Western tropes in it. I mean, I think the acting went very, very well. I shouldn't be too surprised that Fuqua dug deep into his actors who he worked with before. I know I was making fun of the lead female when we was at a theater, called her the poor man Jennifer Lawrence.
She really was.
But I mean, I give her a due.
She wasn't bad. She was.
I mean, shouts to Haley Bennett. Haley Bennett's her name. She was in The Equalizer, apparently. So she made an appearance in The Equalizer. I'm not sure what bigger role, because I didn't see Equalizer.
Probably Russian prostitute number 3.
And she was in your favorite movie, Hardcore Henry.
Oh, Hardcore Henry was the shit.
She was but she was in that movie as well. So she's not some slack or anything like that. She's been around for a little bit. So props to her. Doing it. Oh, she was in a Bling Ring. I remember that movie. That was like those rich kids who like stole money or whatever. Yeah. So apparently she was in. Apparently that was her. For real. Hashtag. So apparently, so she made her run in that. So I mean,
this is the prestige title.
So
in her repertoire.
But
I made it to a Fuqua film.
Yeah,
twice.
But in any event, I thought it was good for what it was. I mean, my wife's father loves Westerns. So this is one of those sort of things where I never give him a reference to anything, but I would give him a reference to go see this. But hey, you should go see this, buddy.
Yeah.
For somebody who loves Westerns, you'll get a huge kick out of it. And I was nervous as you were when we went to go see Tarzan. And you were like, how's this gonna pan out? How are the black folks gonna look in Tarzan? It's what you were thinking. But I was thinking the same thing. Like, how are the Native Americans gonna look at this movie? Somebody gonna call somebody an Injun. Is Injun Joe gonna get cussed out? Is what I was thinking. I'm like, how's this gonna look?
I do notice
but
that.
I was really impressed.
The movie really paid attention to not going the way. They didn't take the easy route of, well, we'll make a lot of racist jokes here. Or they paid attention to the well, basically the hot button that they were treading around the whole time, including the scene where they came across the Native American burial spots, plots, where they buried Native Americans didn't bury it there. They place dead bodies above ground, and that was their tradition. And they actually had to talk about whether or not if a Native American dies, should they bury them within the white man's cemetery and plots. And that's like some deep stuff that no one really talks about with respect.
I mean, that'd be a testament to Fuqua. It really is. So
okay, brother, tell me. When Denzel first walked into that town, didn't it feel like there were just 5 or 6 people just waiting to call him a nigga? Just waiting.
I thought so.
There he's just look at,
and I was like, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen?
I was waiting for it, and it didn't happen. I'm very happy it did.
Pin drops. Yeah, like
seriously. When we're introduced to Chris Pratt, he did a great job. I think played his role. I thought it was going to be really goofy. I thought it was going to be very out of place.
I thought so too.
He fit in. I liked his character because it seemed like he wasn't a clown. He was a funny man for a reason. He's the dude who had some baggage. He's the dude who had some past, and that's just his coping mechanism.
Nah, he's like an ace actor. You know what I mean? He's a funny dude, and but he does have that seriousness to him. You know what I mean? He's done a few pictures where he's had to do that. So
this was.
I like to see the Chris Pratt like that more than the idiot. So,
yeah, Chris Pratt definitely did a good job. I think I want to say he made this movie because Denzel was Denzel. Like he wasn't Chisholm. He was
Denzel's always Denzel
in the West.
Isn't always a version of Denzel. He's so good in so many things, though.
Yes, he is.
But pretty much, see improvised lines too, man. Like I want to say the Avenge Me line was improvised.
It had to be.
It didn't seem like Old West. It just seemed like Denzel.
Does it seem like Red Dawn? Avenge Me?
No.
Avenge me, boys!
No. There's a few lines in this movie where
there was a nice little line. He was like, "So what happens when you die?" He goes, "I don't know. Avenge me." Just his delivery was so Denzel.
It was really good. I don't want to harp on this too long. I think we've made our opinion known. But definitely Chris Pratt is a solid performance. Reason to see this. Denzel, if you like Denzel, see this. This is pretty much it's Denzel and Ethan Hawke, and I was waiting for like a Training Day reference.
I really was too.
Smoke this, man. Yeah, it's like what? Indian, get that from the Indian guy? Like
Ashy Larry.
If you don't chew this tobacco, we have a problem. Man, all right. The villains in this were cartoonish. It is the epitome of just the out there Western. They did everything short of like having Dudley Do-Right ride into the rescue at the end. But
there's a movie
I enjoyed this as a hardcore Western fan.
Cactus Jack shows up in this movie. Yeah, right?
He was hiding in the saloon.
Man, as a hardcore Western fan, the only thing missing from this was Hoss and Little Joe.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I enjoyed it. If you like Westerns, I highly recommend Magnificent Seven. If you don't like Westerns, maybe you could take it or leave it, right, Jack?
You still might like the actors in this, so you might still want to see it.
Yeah, the actors were good.
I agree.
Hawke, one thing that bugged me about Ethan Hawke's performance is a lot of performances, each character they tried, and I mean, you can tell effort was there, they just didn't follow up on it, and that may be a matter of time or budget or whatnot. They introduced them each, and you're supposed to feel they have individual storylines. And like, okay, they talk about this. Oh, we'll go back to this, and this will play a deep part in the story, right? Never touch on any of them again. Ethan Hawke has like a shell shock moment. He's like a PTSD moment from the Civil War, and that's like, oh, that's gonna be a big thing with his character. Never go back to it. They go back to it maybe like once in passing. Chris Pratt with his anger management issues. There's one scene where he has to get his horse back, and he talks to a dude like, man, we were having a nice conversation. Why do you have to go for your gun? Now it's gonna be a thing. And it's like, oh, it got tense. Never go back to it.
Pretty much.
And there's a lot of that you notice, and it's blatant because I thought it was because they were setting up for it, and a lot of westerns do that where they set up for it and then they go back to it. But I'm thinking of things like the movie Shane. It's like that's the main plot of the movie, and I figure with this, the only reason they didn't go back to it was because you couldn't in a movie where you have supposedly quote unquote 7
or he's a hack
main
director,
stars, 7 leads.
Yeah.
But without going, Magnificent Seven, I highly recommend anyone who's into Western see it.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Now, let us not shortchange the man of the hour. He came with the information on WWE's Clash of the Champions.
All right. Clash of the Champions happened last night. All right, quick down and dirty. Clash of the Champions. This is Raw's big event. Their first event on their own. So we'll see how this panned out. I think it panned out pretty good. All right, so break it down. I'm going to give you how Clash of Champions worked out. It was every title on the line plus a couple other matches. So I'm just going to highlight the championship matches for y'all. The rest of it, go get WWE Network. All right.
Damn, all right.
For real. New Day went up against Gallows and Anderson, defended the belts. New Day retained the titles. A little disappointed in how that panned out because it's at the point right now that the titles aren't moving, even though New Day is moving. Typically, when a person has the belt, the prestige of the titles move with that person in terms of their popularity. I feel as if the titles are just at this point jewelry for the New Day because the New Day are that good to the point where they don't need the titles.
Well, aren't they like following the Dudley Boys?
Kind of, sort of, not really. Because the Dudley Boys are the point where they don't need the belts either. So the purpose of the belt is to help the star grow. But if the star is already grown beyond the belt, then it doesn't make sense for them to hold it, in my opinion.
Well,
at this point,
the hard act to follow factor.
No, not really. They're at the point right now they could just keep trucking because they're that good.
Okay.
I think they should drop the belts and then get it later on, which will continue to build. Kind of like Flair being 16-time world champion. He lost the belt 16 times, but it builds that mystique.
16-time loser. What do you mean?
Yeah. We'll follow the belt, and I won the pinky ring 7 times.
Pretty much. So Gallows and Anderson lost, which is quite disappointing because that's a team that definitely should get it. Some of it's a little weird because Gallows and Anderson would be only the 3rd team in a history of pro wrestling to have won the IWGP, which is New Japan's titles, and the WWE titles. There's only 2 teams have done it other than that. One is the Dudley Boys, and the other one, flash from the past, the Steiner brothers. Oh, that's it.
Wow.
That's it. Steiner brothers. Rick and Scott, the Steiner brothers.
Pump and Scene missing.
You still got those? Yeah. He still got the arms too?
Oh, Big Papa Pump. I'm pretty sure he still got those arms.
His one arm is bigger than this table.
Holler if you hear me. The big bad booty daddy.
On a chainmail codpiece.
It was bonkers. But in any event, so unfortunately, Gallows and Anderson didn't win, which is kind of for those fans who are huge fans of pure wrestling, you're kind of looking for Gallows and Anderson to get it, and they didn't get it. So we'll see what happens. Apparently, the word on the street that I got from my pro wrestling group, shouts out to my boy Sherm. Apparently, right now, tonight, Gallows and Anderson going up against the New Day for the titles again, a rematch. And the winner of that match will take on Sheamus and Cesaro, who just finished their Best of 7 series at the pay-per-view. So we'll see what happens. Maybe this will be redemption. I don't know. New Day is on day number 400 as the tag champions tonight. So we'll see. All right. Charlotte went up against Bayley and Sasha Banks triple threat match. Charlotte won it. I'm not mad that Charlotte won it. The finish, which is garbage. She did take 2 big boots to the face and knocked out Bayley, and that was it. It's like no finishing move. She could have done a natural selection. She could have done the figure 8. It was legit 2 big boots to the face, like Hulk Hogan style, with the pin. And I'm
one
like,
big bent leg. Yeah,
it really was. I'm like, it's just hit him with the mortal leg drop. Let me believe something.
Tribute to Anderson Silva, apparently.
For real. All right, Reigns went up against Rusev. Reigns got the belt. It was just 2 big dudes scrapping. That's really what it was. I just watched that match right before coming here. Wasn't a great
Reigns
match.
Got the belt?
He got the U.S. title, which is something he should have got in the first place. They shouldn't have rushed him up to the world title. So give him the U.S. belt, see where he goes from there. Kevin Owens went up against Seth Rollins. Great match. Say again?
He's going to his weed man. That's where he's going.
For real. Kevin Owens went up against Rollins. Great, solid match. These are 2 guys from Ring of Honor going at it on WWE TV, and it was just an amazing match overall. Great match throughout. TJ Perkins, a new WWE Cruiserweight Champion, defended his belt against Brian Kendrick. It was kind of weird because what WWE is really trying to do, they're really trying to push this Cruiserweight division to the point where they changed the ropes to purple. And they changed the turnbuckles to purple because apparently purple is supposed to symbolize the Cruiserweight division. So old boy's belt is silver and purple. So every time a Cruiserweight match happens, they legit change the ropes to purple and change the turnbuckles to purple. So they got to put on some random things to keep the time going. So they put on some stupid vignette or they put on some little video just to kill time so they can change the ropes to purple, have the Cruiserweight match, and then change the ropes back to red to keep it trucking, which doesn't make sense. But I guess they're really trying to emphasize this Cruiserweight division. So overall,
they got a sponsorship with Crayola.
Maybe. Overall, great PPV. Check it out. Do want to give a quick shout out. This Saturday or Friday, whatever the 30th is, I think it's a Friday. Ring of Honor is having their All-Star Extravaganza here in Lawrence, but it's a pay-per-view, so check it out. 3 title matches coming up. Michael Elgin, big Michael Elgin, is going up against Adam Cole for the Ring of Honor Championship. There's a 3-way tag match between the Motor City Machine Guns, the Young Bucks, and the Addiction. And finally, TV titles on the line. Worcester's own Dijak is going up against Bobby Fish for the TV title for Ring of Honor. This go around, Ring of Honor didn't really take a lot of New Japan guys. There's some there, but this is mostly homegrown guys here fighting out in Lowell, Massachusetts. So check that out because a lot of these guys are going to turn around and be in WWE at some point. A lot of these guys who fight for Ring of Honor. So check it out.
Yeah, I would have called shenanigans, but you know a couple of these dudes that are there now personally. I'm just like, damn, I should have paid. I should have been a little nicer to that cat trying to take my lunch
should have
money.
listened to you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You never know, man. I mean,
You always
it's
knew.
good. It's interesting. I mean, pro wrestling's growing incredibly fast, and and I mentioned it last go around how Vince wants to buy out TNA.
Yes.
Not necessarily sure what's going on with that, but Dixie Carter still trying to charge $40 million for something that's worth $4 million. So we'll see what happens.
Well, she got that Delta Burke money, man. So anyone trying to, I'm kidding. Wrong Dixie Carter again.
Clancy Carter.
Get your people straight, man. Like,
the thing that I want to point out is at Clash of Champions, it's called that because like every belt was on the line. So that's one of the things to pay attention to, including they still have both the
botches.
Oh yes,
go ahead.
Break it down.
No, you break it down, P. You got the info before I did.
I was talking about how the main bit of news about this pay-per-view, not oh my god, it's Raw's first official pay-per-view, groundbreaking. It's like, nah, this person messed up here as well. This was just cartoonishly bad, and that's the word that was used a lot online, cartoonish. Bad, and Botchamania is going to have a field day with this.
Yes, they are. Check out Botchamania. That's my favorite show to watch. But I mean, all in all, in the defense of the pro wrestler, mind you, this is their big pay-per-view. Their first go around doing this on their own. They're nervous. Cut up some slack. I mean, this was a indie level guy's first match in the high school gym. So I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it might have been a couple of botches, but it wasn't like that.
Okay, thank you, camp counselor.
Hey man, I got nothing but love for these guys and girls going out there putting their lives on the line for our entertainment.
All right, man. I'm sure Chris Harvard is very appreciative of your
Chris Harvard.
All right. This has been the Geek Down here on WEMF Radio. I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank my homeboy Black Adam Willis.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank JM the Thriller Priest.
Peace.
I want to thank Just Johnny.
Yo.
I want to thank DJ Herbie Herb.
Woo.
And I have been Pat B. Now, you can catch us every Monday nights, 9 p.m. right here on WEMFradio.com. And if you heard anything on this show you want to chime in on, hit us up at geekdownradio.com. Damn it, geekdownradio@gmail.com. Or just hit us up on the site itself at geek-down.com. Also, you can catch us on Facebook, The Geek Down, on Twitter, The Geek Down, on Instagram, The Geek Down, on SoundCloud, The Geek Down, in iTunes, we're all over the place, The Geek Down. And catch us every Monday night, 9 p.m. right here. We'll catch you all next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. And until then, be excellent to each other. Peace.
Siri, how can I listen to WEMF on my mobile device?
I found the best way to enjoy WEMF radio on your mobile device. Download the TuneIn app from your app store, then search WEMF on TuneIn. That only would have taken you 10 seconds to Google. Enjoy. Stupid.
It came out really good. You can see the last bits right over there. That was, I had the stream live. And it's usually what I do when I stream. I have it running so that I can see what's. What's up?